Welcome to Fight Week. How are you feeling?
Hi, good, thank you.
What do you think of Salt Lake City?
Oh, it's very, after Las Vegas, probably it's much better for me because I like nature, more green, and I like cold. It's a little bit colder than Vegas. But in America, Vegas is my home. That's why I like Utah, but I will go back there.
So what were your first thoughts when you got the name for your opponent?
I never have no thoughts. I just say to Ali, date, and that's all.
Well, how do you see the fight going between the two of you? What are you expecting from him?
He's an unexpected guy. I'm unexpected also. But who knows? Maybe this time will be mine first submission in UFC. That's a little bit strange. I'm a grappler and never used this, but who knows? But you know me. Maybe I will just go and fight. Nobody knows. I don't know it also.
Is that something you really want? Like, if you get your submission, is that something that would be like a really high achievement for you?
To do submission. I will every day do it in the gym. That's why I don't think so. I don't think about stuff like that.
Have you had any interactions with him? He had told us earlier today that he's trying to be good this week. So I'm just wondering if you guys have run into each other at all.
No, we didn't, but I meet him a couple times. I know a lot of people say different things about him, but with me he was always good. And I see him a couple times. We was traveling to some event together, and also we fought some event, like I think two. And he was good guy, nice guy, nothing bad. And as always, I don't have no negative emotions about my opponents, and with him same.
I know right now Georgian MMA is really big. You guys have now 2 champions. Did you ever picture this even a year ago that you would have 2 champions from Georgia?
No, of course, it's a big achievement. And when I first started MMA, it was in Ukraine, because in Georgia we didn't have MMA. And even now, I think amateur MMA is bigger in Ukraine than in Georgia. But if you are speaking about professional athletes, Georgia is on another level now.
Do you think now that you guys have 2 champions that it's going to, suddenly become a place? Because I have people reaching out to me saying, "How do I go train in Georgia?" They want to go there.
Okay, I don't want to sound bad, but let me say the truth. We don't train there, and I live in Georgia. It's a little bit harder for me, because if I would stay here in America, it will be easier to always be in shape and always train and having good sparring partners. And these guys who you mentioned, Ilya, Merab, Guram, Giga, and they train in other countries, and it's much easier for them, and I understand why they do this. For professional athlete, it will be probably smartest and best way, but I choose different way, and I like being in Georgia because I like my culture, I like my life there. I never say in my life, and I see a lot of people say like, we don't like America, this, and I always say, if you don't like, just go home. It's easy. And I always respect America. I'm very thankful, because everything what I have in my life changed a lot, and I have a lot of different business and properties and stuff like that. And it's because of UFC and because of America. And I'm very happy to be here, and I'm always very grateful.
So if you're not training in Georgia, if that's not where the training is coming from, how are you guys all so good?
Probably the time when we was raised there, we are almost similar age. It was tough times. It was times when Soviet Union collapsed and everything get destroyed in Georgia. No economy, nothing worked, and there was food problem. Everything was problem. Even electricity we sometimes have. Sometimes we didn't have at all day. Sometimes couple hours. And I even remember time. Sometimes they was giving electricity for a couple hours when it's news in TV and some Brazilian series. I remember that very good.
What was the Brazilian series?
I don't remember the name, but it was about love or something. I wasn't watching it, but I remember that everybody was going home because we all was outside in the street, and light came, everybody saw it and go home just for that couple hours.
So do you think now that there are the two champions and there's a lot of you now in the UFC, that potentially Georgia could become a place where there are good gyms and there are places that fighters can go?
Let me start from this. I think in UFC we have 5 Georgian fighters. Population of Georgia is 3.5 million. There are a lot of countries, especially in Europe, who doesn't even have 1 or more fighters. And from these 5 fighters, 2 guys are champions and 2 top 10. And Guram deserves to be also top 10, and he's a very good guy, and I'm sure he will be very soon there. And if we are speaking in Georgia, I see changes, big changes. A lot of gyms are opening. I see even in my city, in Batumi, we have a lot of good gyms. And I will not say that I don't train, but I have hard time with the timing because I have a lot of other stuff to do. I need to work a lot. I need to look my business, what's going on, construction. And I found the easiest way for me, just wake up in the morning. I wake up in 7 normally, and I train 8, 9, because if I will not train in the morning, in the evening I will not have time for this. That's why I train every day, but it's usually in the mornings, and like this I keep good shape. And even last time when I fly for Smith fight, and everybody thought, and it was like it was 1 week before fight I came here, and I was in good shape, but problem was time difference. But my shape was good exactly because of that I started doing trainings in the morning, quite hard trainings, and that helps me to keep me in good shape.
And last question for me: is there extra pressure on you knowing, what everything that you just said about Georgia and the champions, and now knowing you have to prove yourself now? Is there extra pressure?
I'm fighting. I never thought in my life that I will be fighting. I started fighting 28 years old. I saw in life a lot of difficulties and a lot of things. Nothing can pressure me. Fighting especially. How fighting can change who I am. I always was thinking about fights like part of my life, but it definitely doesn't define who you are, who I am. That's why no pressure, and I don't think there is anything what can pressure me. Of course, my family, how my family life is going, how things are in my close surrounding. In other ways, nothing can touch me and change me.
Thank you.
Roman, over here. Before your last fight, in the lead up at Media Day, you said you liked how it was a last-minute fight because you didn't have to do all the media and everything. Another sort of short-notice one because Kevin was supposed to fight Chris Curtis. So is it, again, the same thing? Like, I know it's not a light heavyweight, but do you prefer these short-notice fights?
Light heavyweight was much, much better because I didn't need to cut weight, and it was such a good feeling. I was eating so much, and I just wake up in the morning. I had 2 kilos to lose. I was alone, and I just did it by myself and drive alone, just made weight and go home, eat more, and it was a really nice feeling. And you probably didn't listen till end. I said there it's good because now opponents don't have time to say no for fight, and because so many fights pulled out in my career. And there were last year after Marvin's fight, I was in Las Vegas for 7 months, and 3 opponents pulled out, 3 signed contract, and they pulled out, and it was hard times. And even before Smith, also 2 opponents pulled out. And that's why I said, 1 week, no problem. I'm flying, no problem.
So for Kevin, he doesn't normally pull out of fights. In fact, he has the most fights dating back to 2021. So when Kevin's name came across the contract, were you that even more confident that he would make the fight, considering his history?
I never think from this side about fights. I know it, always something can happen. They probably get injured or something, but I just think for myself what kind of fighter he is, and just agreed fight and start waiting time when the fight will come. That's all.
He was in here earlier, and he said against his past opponents, if it's a fight, he wins. But if it's a point fight, then his opponents will hold him down or just leg kick him from the outside. I'm curious, do you think if this turns into a fight that you would beat him?
I always fight, and let's see who will win then.
Last one for me. Can I get your thoughts on the main event between Alex and Khalil?
It's it's a big problem that I sometimes say what I don't think I need to say, but I don't think that probably there is a big problem. I know Khalil very, very good. He's a very good, if we are speaking about person, but we are talking now about who is fighting who. Yes, I think there sometimes need to be some sense. I'm very happy for Halil. I want to say that it's nothing about him. I'm just saying what's happening. And it's a little bit strange, but it's good that happened like this with Halil. I think also Ankalaev need to fight definitely for a belt. But it's my thought. We don't know what's happening there, or how UFC is running business. And I'm happy with them, with the UFC. That's why I'm not saying nothing. But even my last fight, I beat Smith. He was number 10 ranked. And after when I wake up Tuesday, some guy moved to 10, and after 1 month they put me number 15. After they put me, I don't understand what's going on there. For me, it's to provide my family, to provide for my kids, for their future. And if I'm glad what UFC is giving me, I will keep moving. When I will decide that this thing what I don't like, I will make my decisions. I don't have no pressure. Maybe I don't understand how this business works, but I have my thoughts and opinions about everything what's going on in my life.
Гамарджо Бараман.
Гамарджо.
Как дела?
Отлично, все хорошо.
Рад тебя снова видеть. После своей победы над Смитом ты сказал, что хочешь оппонента из топ-10. Сейчас ты сам в топ-10. Тебе дали Холланда, который в твоем в среднем дивизионе не из топ-10. Насколько ты разочарован этим?
Я не разочарован абсолютно. Я считаю, что Холланд очень хорошее имя. Прежде всего, топ-10 для меня не означает место в рейтингах. Для меня это означает, во-первых, хорошее имя, хороший соперник. И, конечно же, когда мне дали его конкретно, я был достаточно рад и доволен тем, что это хорошее имя, хорошая возможность. Я всегда хочу проверять себя с хорошими ребятами. И он один из тех.
Ты сказал еще, что хочешь подраться с Хамзатом Чимаевым. В дивизионе это твой самый желанный соперник?
Конечно, если не говорить о титульном поединке, возможном, который все может изменить. Вот Халил 8 номер, он выиграл Смита, которого я выиграл перед, и он дерется пояс. Хороший бой, потому что я его считаю как раз одним из лучших и одним из талантливых бойцов, и я бы хотел бы с ним померить силу.
Ну смотри, в случае победы над Уитакером, скорее всего, в следующий бой он будет претендовать на титульник.
Да.
Как ты думаешь, есть ли вообще шанс в ближайшем будущем вам встретиться в октагоне?
Вот вы сказали, если он выиграет. А если он не выиграет?
Если он не выиграет, тогда
да,
есть.
Вот тогда. И поэтому, если я выиграю, и дальше буду продолжать выиграть. Поэтому это все разговоры. Я, конечно, могу все что угодно планировать. Я вообще не думал в жизни, что я буду в UFC драться, не думал, что буду в топ-10, не думал, что и 93 буду побеждать и быть в 2 весовых топовым бойцом. Ну, есть что есть. Я лишь принимаю дорогу жизни, которая мне дается. И я стараюсь идти по ней честно и достойно.
И последний вопрос от меня. Из всех грузинских бойцов UFC ты, пожалуй, самый интеллигентный, особенно если сравнивать с Мирабом, с Ильей. Такой мистер, хороший парень. Всегда говоришь правильные вещи. Ты не считаешь, что тебе это в UFC немножечко мешает?
Если говорить честно, считаю, что да. Потому что публика, контингент людей, которые это все смотрят, наверное, им нравятся такие разговоры. Но у меня на данный момент растут 2 мальчика, 2 сына. И я думаю, еще минимум парочку будет сыновей. Надеюсь, и дочка тоже. И я прежде всего поведу себя так, как бы хотел бы, чтобы они видели своего отца, и как бы я бы их хотел бы видеть в дальнейшей жизни. Поэтому у меня нету другого выхода. И я лишь есть, кто я есть. Я не могу играть какую-то роль только потому, что кому-то это нравится, и мне за это больше заплатят.
Спасибо. Хорошего боя.
Спасибо.
Roman, right over here. You were shown and embedded this week out in the wilderness, out in the mountains out here in Salt Lake City. Seemed like you really enjoyed that. Obviously, that's what you're all about. When you get to come to a place like this, you get to enjoy the fight week like that. How much more comfortable does it make you, ahead of this fight?
The funniest part is that everywhere where I go, I found place where I like to do in wildness or anything. Because it's I can't just sit in hotel. It's not my type of life, and like you said, maybe I don't like media days, maybe I don't like interviews, but it's part of my job. What I need to do. If I'm here on this level, it's part of my job, and I will do it for sure. But true life I have there, because I don't need to play no roles. I just can be who I am, and mostly I like hard times because when it's especially raining or snowing or something's going on, what's not normal. I like it more. Even in Vegas, when I see that it's raining, it's starting to rain. Oh, I'm going to mountains just because exactly that's what I want to feel. And this is just my natural habit and natural place where I can be who I am, and there I feel more alive. That's probably what makes me always to go there. And I'm very happy that I'm in Utah. Before I was in Bryan Head. I liked it also very much. Very beautiful place. I stayed there 15 days, I think. And now I'm here, and it's a very beautiful place.
And last but not least, Sean Strickland came out here to Salt Lake City. Obviously, you guys have been drilling a lot together. He came out here to support as well. What does his presence during fight week bring to you?
Problem is that he didn't go with me to mountains. He screams so much that he's tough guy, but he don't do tough stuff. He do for Instagram tough stuff maybe, but not real life. And he's a very good guy. I always tell to him that, Sean, you are better than you think you are. And in certain things I don't agree with him. I really don't agree how he talks about his family or something like that, because I always think that no matter how bad is your family, you always need to be on their side. And I think he's a guy who speaks just for audience. In Russian they asked me these questions and you didn't understand what he was saying. And he's a good guy, I think. Better than people think, and better, I think, than he thinks about. But in his toughness, what he tries to show, it's also. I was raised in places where if somebody want to do something to you, they will not tell you. He will do it quiet and disappear very quiet, and nobody know about it. And that's a truly dangerous guy. But who is screaming loud about it? Nah, he's not capable to do that. But he's a good guy. He's very good, and he helped me here. And with him is always tough sparring. I don't want to sound like I have something against him or something. He's a very good guy, and one more time I'll say, I think he's better than he even thinks about.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good day, guys.